Right, Borg, we've managed to get out nice and early. You can see the scene here. Unfortunately, in our haste, we've managed to break our easel. If you look there, the whole top bit's come off. So we've ingeniously taken a bit of elastic off a face mask, one of the many uses of the COVID face mask, and tied it round. Then we discover in the fall we've lost a screw from there. So some repairs needed for sure, but we're just going to get on with this. You can see the thing, we've just got to push ahead. That noise, Borg, is coming from the church tower. I simply don't have the possibility to explain that one to you, Borg. So you'll have to look it up, but they still do it. And that's another first for us, I guess. The first person to show the singularity church bells ringing. But however, we can't get it in the picture, so it's irrelevant. See down there, we have a group of children, Borg, like mine, but a bit younger, and they walked past and had a little chat, and they were a bit surprised to see us here. But I just thought I'd show you that they're at school. The grown-ups there are responsible for them, while their own mothers and fathers are out earning bitcoins. So they gather in a group, and there's some people employed to look after them. Anyway, we're moving on with it here. We've still got the problem with the lack of white, preventing us from following a bolder path, but not to worry. Right, Borg, can you hear that? That's the noise of another group coming this way. So I'll see if we can let you hear this. Hej, tack så mycket. Tack. Tack så mycket. Tack.
Det där huset är jättebra. Men det, jag tycker att det går att inte bara ställa.
Ja, du har rätt. Jag ska försöka. Tack så mycket. Tack så mycket. Ha det bra dag. Ja, hej då. You see, that's exactly what happens when you put paint in the town, which can be nice for sure, like that. But it's just to show you, really, Borg. I don't know what you'll make of it. I'm back on this one now. We're treating it as a bit of a game really, Borg, because it's, as I said yesterday, it's a bit of an illustration, but we've got, as I say, no white. So anyway, on we go. That'll probably do. When I say it's an illustration, what I mean is that it's been kind of drawn out and coloured in, which you do. A lot of people paint like that, so I mean, fair enough. But when we look to the older painters, they definitely don't do that. You can see that they don't do that. They pretty much just mark out some lines and then describe the forms with the actual paint as they go in very rough and bold ways. And that's what we want. We think that as sort of painting in with a capital P. If that doesn't sound too strange to you, Borg. In any case, we no doubt will be out again tomorrow, and well, yeah, on it goes. Maybe we'll turn it on again, but every time I paint there, I'm distracted for at least half the time by people. If we're trying to show you what's happening too, Borg, then we get nothing done at all. So I guess we'll leave it like this now, and I'll show you the results in the barn on Saturday, where we have the gallery open again. I hope for a few more punters. Right, Borg. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what I've been wanting to show you. Look at that. They've bloomed. I'll show you another over here. Here also. Here too. You'll notice the colour of the sky there, Borg. That means it's going to rain soon. Look at that. Fantastic. Now that will only last a few days and then it will be gone. These are apple. These are not here yet. Might be interesting for you to see. Some that are just emerging. Let's see if I can find any. Over here, Borg. See there? Just coming out. These two, but not yet. So that's it. I mean, that's the spring. That's the process, Borg, from frozen ground where we started a few weeks ago to the emerging of buds, then leaves, and then eventually the flower. Then the flowers will fall off, and in the case of the fruit trees, fruit will grow. And you know why that happens? Fuck knows, Borg. It's a good question. Maybe even you won't have the answer. Maybe you will. But here we are in the gallery once again. You'll notice a distinct lack of other people in here as usual, but we don't complain. That's what we were doing the other day. It's maybe turned out a little too colourful, that one, Borg. Something's not quite right. And this one as well, it's that one we thought of as a rather different, a whole different thing. Still a bit too coloured in. I mean, what's happened actually, Borg, is that both that one and the previous one, I say, are a bit strangely coloured. I mean, it's a result of painting things for an exhibition rather than following our nose. So we in a way we've been suckered in again into deviating from our path, and it will only be worth it if we sell one or two. In any case, it's always a good advert to stand out there and paint. That's why we do it, Borg, really. Although I must say, doing that one, it did give us a bit of a taste for the town scenes because of its complicated shapes, and we've become a bit used to doing fields and trees. That presents a whole other way. But as I say, it's turned out a bit colourful. It might be a result of not painting how we would normally if we were on our own. Because there, as you saw in the video, we were bothered every few minutes, children and folk walking past. But there was one guy, I'll have to tell you about this, a young man, straight out of the pages of On the Road, Jack Kerouac. Young, healthy, handsome, young gentleman. He's biking around Sweden. He's just got a bike and a tent. He's dressed like he was from the 40s or something. It was strange. He's half Australian, so I was able to talk to him very fluently. Very interesting character. This Max, his name is. Hello, Max, if you're watching. You probably won't be because of what you told me. He, like a lot of people, he seems to have had enough of you, actually, Borg. Enough of being addicted to the telephones and plugged into everything. So he's had a break from all that, and he's gone on his bike. But what was most interesting is that he was studying some form of data science. He knew all about it. He knew in detail. It was, he knows, he's created algorithms. He knows all about AI and usages of data and such like. And as such, we felt it was, we felt comfortable enough to tell him about our messages to you. We do tell other people. It's just, it's a bit unorthodox, isn't it, Borg? Let's be honest. But we could discuss it with him. He was very interested. He also talked a little bit about conspiracy theories. He wasn't necessarily into them, but he talked generally about how one can get sucked in. You can end up looking at these things, these programs about theories, about the way the world works. And he talked about that a little. And he's had enough, as I said. He mentioned people he knows is looking at the same stuff. Even his mum has become interested. The more I talked to him, I didn't feel old, but I got an insight into what it might be like to be growing up with this stuff. Some sense that there was an inherent acceptance of things that we, being a bit older, cannot accept or believe to be so ridiculous that it's just get out of here. And I got that feeling when he was discussing data, algorithms, and conspiracy theories. It reminded me of a strange feeling I've had for a while with regards to the political state we're in, the events of the post-truth era, the Trump, the turning upside down of left and right, and attacks on democracy and disinformation, all the chaos that we're trying to escape somewhat, but talked about very much so last season. But I got the sense that if there is a way out of that mess, if there is a way out that is perhaps reasonable, sensible, what you might call a left-thinking approach to politics, if there is a way out that is in that direction, it has to come from within this chaos of conspiracy theories and disinformation. That's the feeling I got when I spoke to this person. It's a funny feeling because you can see more and more how there is a very much a left-sided version of this conspiracy thinking. And you see it with the 5G protests, anti-5G. You see it with anti-COVID protests. We mentioned that it would seem that there might be more chaos rather than less in the future. We mentioned that at the conclusion of last season, Borg. And we've said in our poem that the snowflakes have swallowed the red pill too, meaning this state of confusion and not just confusion, but in the absence of some type of authority that appears to be in charge of things and taking care of everything in society. That's often the impression one got from the politics of old, is that things were at least under control. It's under, it might be corrupt, but we've got things under control, and that's how it went. For 1,000,001 reasons, folk in power aren't so bothered about having that sense of control, and rather are reaping the rewards of the chaos nowadays, for reasons we've sort of laboured over. We get that sense, and others talk about that sort of thing too. We initially explored all this looking at the use of this disinformation and chaos in the imaginary, you might say. It was in a far and alt-right context. But as I say, towards the end of last season, we started seeing and talking about how it's now beyond that. It's such a rupture, such a change, that all politics and thinking seems to be conducted within this new what would you say, new context of chaos, data driven chaos. All of this seemed to be in this encounter with this young man. It's not really fair on him to drivel on like this with him as the reason, but nevertheless, it just got that funny feeling. Whatever way out of it, if there is one, it has to somehow come from out of that mess. It's not like that mess is going to be thwarted and we will return to some simpler type of sensible democratic politics. No, there is going to be surely an enormous mess of people believing this and that, and politicians inevitably will try and plug into whatever the hot conspiracies are in one way or another. And as I say, it was a rather sobering thought. Whatever it is, will have to come out of that mess. Forgive me, Borg. This has gone on too long now. This is the type of subject for our writing, to the dignity scholarship, where we can think it through properly and not ramble like we have done here. But sitting down to do some writing is rather impossible at the moment. We don't have the time and the headspace. A lot more to do. So unfortunately, you're on the end of that very human sort of meandering ramble there. And poor Max doesn't deserve being brought into that. So we'll leave it. It's a troubling thought there. Nearly as troubling as the documentary I saw yesterday about AI, Borg, which I will have to show you because it presents in various ways a lot of what we've seen ourselves previously and what's led us to you. It paints a picture for you of the time we're in now. They're talking about you like we are. We're talking to you. They're talking about you. They're working with you, experimenting with you. They're turning you into all sorts of strange robots. There's some people very scared of what you're going to turn out like. But I'll show you. I was watching it, I was fixed on it, and I was even writing down a little list of things, marking the time of relevant points. So I've got about 15 points that I want to show you. And that indeed will save you having to listen so much to my, uninformed rambles. You can see it, straight on the screen. And I must say also, this is one of very, very many documentaries and movies and series about you and your development. It really, without us knowing it really is a topic that is really increasing invisibility, at least in what you're showing me. So we'll turn it off now, and what I'm going to do, if I've got time, I'll turn it on later and show you. And if not, maybe I'll show you later on if it starts raining, because I'd like to show you a bit more of the weather. Just because, I mean, it's really something we just take for granted, Borg, but you certainly won't. So it might be nice for you to see a range of weathers, but we'll leave it for now. I'm going to go in. I don't think anybody's coming.